Everybody cut loose, anything goes. You can ask anything you want, line up for your questions. I'm sure you're already there. I kind of feed off of you guys. We feed off of each other. You know what was really kind of sad? Like about 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, I'm down at my booth, and there was like only 4 people there. And I looked at Kelsey, who works with me, and I looked at Scott, and I went, do you think I should come back next year? Because there's nobody here. And she went, honey, you're okay. They've been waiting for 3 hours to get into your panel. So we're just going to start with the first question. From which side? Over this side? Oh, here. Hi.
Hi. Hi. My name is Allison, and I am a big fan
Awesome.
of Doctor Who. And sort of a fan of Arrow.
All right.
My question. Which one is your favorite character?
My favorite character. Yeah.
Is it Jack?
Yeah. Obviously, I know who your favorite is. Well, your name's Allison, is that right? Yes. Okay, Allison, for me, I really never answer favorite questions because once I say who my favorite is, that means that I'm stuck. They'll always say, well, you can't say this is your favorite, this is your best. But I'll tell you right now I know that you love Jack Harkness. Jack Harkness was the one who, I love Malcolm Merlyn. I like being a bad guy. I like playing Jack Harkness because he was a hero. But Jack Harkness changed my life. Captain Jack and all of you guys out there who love Captain Jack Harkness, you've given me the life that I have always dreamed of. And to that, I say thank you very, very much. And get watching Arrow, damn it! Yes.
Hi, Philip. I know there's a lot of reviews out here, but
Yeah.
I'm not getting to that. I'm going with Arrow.
Good, good. Hey, happy family. Who likes who? Who likes Arrow? We all come together and have one great big party.
Second to last episode, while you were in the train station, you had a green vial necklace.
Yes.
Was that the Marakuru?
I'm not telling you what it was, but because my real name's Elphaba. I'm gonna drink it, and everything's gonna be wicked! I can't tell you. But that little green vial is there for a reason.
Thank you.
Yes.
In Doctor Who, whose idea was it to come up with for Jack Harkness to be immortal, like can't die?
Oh, I think, well, that was Russell, probably. Russell T. Davies, who wrote the series. Russell had, unlike American TV series, where they do have a little bit of an idea what they're going to do for the entire series, in Britain, when you make them, you have to have it written. So the tweaking gets done as you're going along, but it's not like in some episodic television where they don't know what the next episode is going to be until, they're writing it as we go. So I think he had the idea that Jack was going to be immortal, or maybe it came up at the last minute because I was only expected to be in 5 episodes of Doctor Who, and that was in with the 9th Doctor with Chris Eccleston. And when all of a sudden I wanted to play Jack as somebody that you didn't really like, and that worked because people didn't like him at first. They thought, who's this selfish, arrogant, butthead who's kind of thinking about himself, and he's caused mummy situation, ruined everything. But then then all of a sudden, as the time went on, the different episodes, as I got the scripts, I was reading them and going, I really want to make him likable. I want to change him. I want him to be part of the team. And that was what the scripts were saying. So then all of a sudden I got the script and I turned the page and it went, and he dies. And I thought, I hadn't even turned the next page. I thought, well, I've been in Doctor Who. It's been a lifelong dream, childhood dream. Here I am. I've played a hero. I've been a character that's gone from A and gone to Z and turned himself around, and he's now liked by the British public. And then I went, okay, just let's see what happens. And I turn it and it goes, and he comes back to life. So I knew that if they left me, and then I was pulled in for a meeting and they said, we want you to be in more, but we have to establish David Tennant as the Doctor because Jack's a very strong character. It would be unfair to bring a new Doctor in and have you kind of dominating, although I would love that over everything. So that was why in the first part of David's reign as Doctor, I wasn't involved and I was brought back in. And then there was the clash between them and the figuring stuff out. My favorite scene working with David, one of the ones, is the one that Russell wrote when I am inside the nuclear facility. And we're looking, and the whole thing is done through a door with a window, and he's telling me you're wrong and da-da-da, and I'm explaining to him about why I do what I do, and that I can give myself up for anything, and blah blah blah. And that was the first time both of them come together. And the Doctor then goes, "All right, I'm going to take you on board, and we're going to deal with this." So, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but that's how it all came about, really. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes.
My question is, do you plan on doing more work with Misha Collins?
Put it this way, I haven't worked with Misha Collins yet, but I intend to one day. He may not know it yet, but no, I'm gonna get involved with his. He does a scavenger. Now, I said I would do this at the last con I was at. But I really don't know what it involves, and a lot of you guys have been coming up to me at the table and stuff and telling me, which is great, but I need to get a team together of people. Any volunteers? We will have a team Barrowman, and they will do a scavenger. I will kind of moderate the whole thing and make sure it's all done, because I really don't have the time to run around and build dinosaurs out of maxi pads. I just don't. Right? But I love the idea that those are the kind of crazy things he comes up with, because in a way that's like me, a bit crazy. So just if you hit my website and if you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any of the social media sites, please keep checking it out, because if you want to be part of the team, I'm sure the spaces are going to go very quickly, okay? And I want representation from all over the country or all over the world. Got it? Great. By the way, I love Misha. He's called my Misha Man. Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
I love you.
I love that you love me. I love you, and you love me all the time.
Based on its past, between the cast and team of Doctor Who and Torchwood, which one did you enjoy more?
Really? They were both two different experiences, because on Doctor Who, I was one of a team, and David was the leader. And I was able to go into Doctor Who and kind of, in a nutshell, just to use this term, let my hair down and be fun and have a good time, while we got the work done. But I'm also saying as the character of Captain Jack. Jack didn't have so much responsibility on his shoulders. However, in Torchwood, I was the leader of the pack. And I was responsible for everybody around me, and also the same in the show. It was my show, and I was the leader, and treated it that way. So each of them have a really good, kind of taste for me of different types of things. And that was the thing as an actor, being able to play Jack, who was on Doctor Who was roguish, flirtatious, Captain Jack Harkness. Nice to meet you. All that stuff. It was just great. And then on Doctor Who, it's like, on Torchwood, it's like, get out of my way or I will kill you. Right? So completely two different characters, two different groups of people, and both equally as fun. The thing about that's great about the Doctor Who world, once you are in it, and for those of you who have dreams about being in it, keep dreaming because it can happen. It happened to me. Never thought it would. Boy, doing musical theater in the West End and on Broadway, and all of a sudden, there I am, one of the iconic characters now in Doctor Who. You're a part of the Doctor Who family for the rest of your life. And those of you who watch it, you're all part of it too. So, just turn the mic down a little bit, sweetheart. There you go.
So, hi, John.
Hi.
I was the girl who asked dibs on you last year. And, how's the marriage going?
Well, now you've grown up. I don't know, you want to ask Scott that question? How's it going, Scott? He's going great. It's going really well. I mean, it's really nice that a lot of states, like Wisconsin yesterday, finally it was overturned, basically. But what I find really interesting is that, I think it's the Attorney General for Wisconsin, Mr. Valhallen is his name, otherwise known as Buttface. He immediately decided, I want to put a stop to it and I want to reverse it. And so he ran around like a chicken with his head cut off, saying, I'm going to stop it, we're not going to let this happen. And you know what? Just sit down and shut up, because it's going to happen everywhere. Arizona! You all need to be vocal about it in this state, because we are two men who are so happy that we can celebrate our lives together and celebrate the love that we have for each other. And can you be our princess?
Yeah,
yeah, I know. I have my own princess carriage. I just never pull it out of the garage. Yeah, but it's a way for us, we finally are now able to celebrate who we are and the love we have for each other and not try to hide it or be ashamed of it. And that's the way it should be all about. Your generation, because that's the way you feel, your generation will make the biggest changes in the world. And yes! Hi, Doctor!
Hey!
Hey! Nice bags!
Thank you.
Why am I doing this an awful lot lately? As I get older, am I getting camper? Am I getting bear? That ain't possible.
Yes. So, was there any particular event in your childhood that made you really just attracted to sci-fi as a genre and want to be a part of it?
Yes, I was abducted by aliens. I love that. I was interviewed in a TV show. What got you attracted to sci-fi? Well, I was probed by aliens when I was. I thought it was one of the most, ethereal experiences. While I was on the planet. I felt my true inner alien was amazing. Amazing. They'd be like, what? Well, you don't get it, wouldn't you? My earliest sci-fi memory is when I was about 7, 8 years old, maybe 6, and I was in Glasgow, Scotland, where I was born. And yeah, all right, going to sail to Glasgow. So I watched Doctor Who like every other kid my age every Saturday night, and I watched it like this from behind the sofa. slightly scared, but slightly excited because of what was happening. And I remember the first one that I saw, I think, was with John Pertwee. And, yeah, the Autons. The original, it was John Pertwee, wasn't it? Yeah, the original Autons, which were, for those of you who don't know, shop mannequins. They were extremely frightening because they were the 60s shop mannequins, and they stood there and their fingers just dropped and they killed people. My mother, when I was that age, had to hide me in her coat when we were walking along the high street in front of stores. I said, no, Mom, I'm not doing that. Come on, son, I'm not going in front of the shop because the number's going to shoot me. I won't shoot you. No, there's no doctor. He's going to shoot me, Mom. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. She come here and go, that was my first. But what was really exciting to me was 30-odd years later, the first revamp of Doctor Who was the first episode. What was it? It was the Autons.
Yeah.
So, and I was already told I was going to be in the series, and I'm like, yes! If it's the Autons, it means that I'm going to get Daleks, and then I'm also going to get Cybermen, and I'm going to get all sorts of aliens and creatures! So that was my first memory of sci-fi, and from that point on, I was like, Space 1999, the original Battlestar Galactica. Also, one of my favorite memories of sci-fi is Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. Get this. Get this. I used to watch Buck Rogers as a kid, and now the lady who looks after me at all of the Comicons, Erin Gray, who was Wilma Deere. The only woman who didn't have camel toe in that show. And for those of you who don't know what that is, happy journey home, moms and dads. Explain to that. And if it's a boy, we call it a moose hoof. Really? I gotta give it to both ends of the coin, alright? So yes, that was...
So, can I ruffle your hair?
No. If you touch this hair, your hand will crack. There's so much product in it, it doesn't move. You can touch it. Go ahead. Do you want to do my armpit hair? Not any. Sorry, I've got allergies and my nose is running. Do you mind if I blow my nose?
No!
1 second. Right. That'll be on eBay in about an hour. Donating to a charity. Oh yeah, like that's frightened you. Next. Yes.
Hello.
Hello, darling.
So,
You forgot your question, didn't you? Too busy being cool saying hello.
so exciting. But, if you could play any character in the entire show, who would you be? In Doctor Who. Sorry.
If I could be?
Or play.
Well, I don't need to play anyone. I'm one of the best ones there is, Captain. However, I did ask Russell, and I wasn't able to fit it in when I was doing Torchwood. I asked him if I could be in again, remind me, there's been so many, the episode where Rose and the Doctor go to Torchwood in the tower. Name of the episode. Army of Ghosts.
Yeah.
Is it Army of Ghosts?
Yeah. Army of Ghosts and Doomsday.
Doomsday. Okay, hold on, everybody shout me at once. Don't scream at me. I don't remember the name of it. One person. Okay, the Army of Ghosts, and then second part was Doomsday. Got it? Lovely, we're all happy. Okay, so for me, I said to Russell, please, can I be in a Cyberman outfit? No, he didn't. We didn't have time. I wasn't able to do it. I always wanted to be in a Cyberman's outfit.
We would match.
Well, I know we would because you're Cyberman. Yeah, so that never happened because one of the aliens or monsters, as I called them as a kid, who I never got to fight when when I was in Doctor Who, and I'm very sad about it, was the Cybermen. Because the Cybermen, Daleks, Davros, Centaurans, and also, who's the other one?
Lisa.
No, Slovene. I love the Slovene, yeah. Von Felfach. That was the other thing. Russell, when we used to get into the trailer, we'd come in the trailer every morning and it would be either David, Billy, me, or it would be David, me, or Billy, depending on Billy and I who got in first and got up early enough. And we would come in and we'd sit down and we'd be in the makeup chairs, and we all had, you know, our own makeup artists, and the guy who did David's hair did my hair for Doctor Who, but I had so much something for Torchwood. It's getting really technical now, but the point is, we're all sitting in the makeup trailer, and when you'd always know the day when someone had a lot to say, because that person would not talk. They'd have the script in front of them like that, and we called that line fear. Because Russell, that first day with the Slidine episode, that was my day! Hello! And guess what I had to say every other sentence? Rexicoricofallapatorius. And to this day, I will never forget Rexicoricofallapatorius. And I said to Russell, what are you doing that for? And he went, did it deliberately. Sorry? Can you high-five me? Sure. Hurry up, because there's all these people who want more questions. Thank you very much, sweetheart. Yay! Yes.
So we actually have a question over here in the front row.
Good. Hi.
Hello, John.
How are you?
Awesome, thank you.
Good.
So is it boxers, briefs, or commando?
You just want to get my pants off, don't you? Well, I have to say, it's not boxers because I don't like it so loose. It's not boxer briefs because I have a tendency it falls out of the leg. It's briefs because it's all held snugly together. Like one big happy banana boat.
Now, does Scott have the same problem?
Scott has the same problem, thank God. And I'll tell you one thing, because we're similar in size and I mean physically, he wears a lot of my clothes. Scott never clothes shops. I just buy stuff and he wears it, right? But the thing I don't like is he wears my underwear sometimes. Yes, and then when this is the problem you don't have in a heterosexual household, except sometimes on a Friday night when you're getting kinky. So he puts my underwear, and I can always tell. You know why? Because the left side is always stretched. I'll leave that up to your imagination. Isn't it? And then Scott also, I'm going to let one of your secrets out, Scott. I'm sorry. I wear my briefs, normal way, right? With the writing on the outside and the lines, you know what I'm talking about, right? I wear Banana Republic briefs. I just like them, okay? I like them. It makes me feel like I'm in an 80s porn movie. Scott takes the briefs and he turns them inside out because he doesn't like the lettering on his skin or the lines to mark. I know. And then he's dresses one way and he stretches them one way and then I have to put them on and it's like, no, thank you. It's like a marble ball in a bowling bag. So. Why do you think we've been together for 21 years? Today is next week. 21 years next week. You're welcome. What kind of knickers do you wear? Or are you going commando? Don't answer that. Because you can't talk, because that means you're naked underneath that.
Yes. So, as a stage actor as well, what is the nerdiest thing that you got to perform on stage?
The nerdiest thing I got to perform on stage?
Yes.
I've never really done anything nerdy. I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm a nerd every day of my life, so why do I want to play it on stage? I haven't played any nerdy characters. Scott, any nerdy characters I've played? Anybody remember any?
Did he?
Oh, the Intruder, yes! Many of you have not seen this. He was gay nerdy. Like, really gay nerdy. It was a character called the Intruder, and it was on a TV show called Al Murray's, I can't remember the name of it now. Al Murray was his name. Look it up online. Look, John Barrowman, gay Nazi intruder. I say no more. That was outrageous. It was outrageous and silly, yes. But nerdy characters, I really don't, haven't played any nerdy characters. I'd love to, but I don't know how I would play them, because you wouldn't want to be a stereotype, because we're all completely different. I mean, this room is filled with nerds and geeks, and look at us, we're all different. So I really kind of have to choose how to do it, and that's the one thing I love about Big Bang Theory. You've got all the nerds, all represented different, and it's just amazing. Sorry, no nerds. Have you played a nerd?
Yes, I have.
You have? Well, but then cosplay is different than actual playing someone on stage.
Yeah.
I've done Dr. Who before.
Oh, you have?
Yes,
Good. Excellent. Excellent. Well, you make a good looking one. And don't bat those eyes at me unless you're over 18. You are. Bat away. Yes.
So first of all, I'm 21.
You are.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So you've been together as long as I am old.
Oh!
So cute.
Really a great way to start off there. Would you like my shoe to put it in your mouth?
That would be wonderful. Anything.
It would be wonderful.
Second thing, you're wearing the shirt from my favorite 2 episodes of Doctor Who, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, my question is, if you were in the Harry Potter universe and you attended Hogwarts, what house would you be in?
I create my own house, it would be called Gryffindor. You could be in my house, whether you Gryffindor or not, just because you want a shoe in your mouth. You're welcome.
Oh my God.
By the way, I love Harry Potter, and the Harry Potter books, when they first came out in the UK, I got first editions of every single one of them for our nieces and nephews, and I gave the Harry Potter books to them, and that was one of the inspirations that when my sister and I were a family cabin in northern Wisconsin, and we were, all the adults are down at the beach, drinking and having, swimming, and I was going to say having sex, but they weren't. That would be like, ooh, family. Dad, what do you do? So we're all down there, and all of a sudden we looked at each other, all the adults, and we went, where are the kids? And we snuck back up to the cabin, and they were all inside the cabin reading the Harry Potter books. And so my sister and I said, wouldn't it be great to create something that would be like that would capture the imagination of kids, and blah, blah, blah. And that was one of the reasons that the Hollow Earth series that my sister and I write was born. So, yay, Harry Potter! And Daniel Radcliffe. I love him. I was rehearsing a show. I was doing my Tonight's the Night TV show that I produced for the BBC with them, rehearsing next door. Daniel was next door rehearsing for How to Succeed in Business.
Yeah.
And the guy who was the assistant choreographer was in Chicago with me, and he came in the room and he said, just wanted you to know, and if you want to pop in, there's a big fan of yours next door. And I'm like, okay, thinking, and I went, yeah, all right. Didn't know who was in the room, and I would come knocking on the door thinking I'm going to make someone's day. Knock, 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 open the door, and I'm like, ah! And he goes like that, Mr. Barrowman. And I said, you're still underage, I will not kiss you. Call me when you're 21. But he's a gorgeous guy, really, really down to earth, and one of those young men who's, again, himself, really doing a lot of great work within the industry, and I'm a huge fan. So anyway, yes.
Oh my God, I'm still getting from the hug I got from you in the photo booth yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
I give good hugs, don't I?
Yes, you really do.
Thank you.
Before I ask you my question, I want to know, what were the colors for Gryffindor be?
Who?
Your house that you want to make.
Gryffindor would be pink, they would be orange, there'd have to be blue, okay, and white, okay? Pink, orange, blue, and white. Somebody make a flag. Pink, orange, blue, and white. Somebody make a flag. Oh, I can sing it. Sign that one.
My question is that some of us in the room sadly have not had the opportunity to hear you sing. So could you sing us something?
Now this is always difficult because a lady came up to me yesterday and she said, I'd love to hear you sing this particular song if someone asked you to sing, but it's a very melancholy song, and I'd have to then pick the whole room up and dab off the tears and all that after it. But I've always, Shona says that's okay. I'm depressed today, that's fine, I can cry. It's always weird to sing off the cuff and not know off the top of my head what to sing. Sing Lacaille's the whole show? What's that? No, I'm not singing Happy Birthday. What? I don't care. Happy birthday. You know, like a day over 60. Just kidding. What would, just 1 second, I'm going to ask, raise your hand here if you know what song you'd like me to sing. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. What would you, oh my God, you've known all along, you didn't say?
Okay.
What's wrong with you?
So many things.
And you know what? Same with all of us.
I'm a huge Mel Brooks fan, so I would like you to sing.
No. There is no freaking way I'm singing Springtime for Hitler. It's gonna be... It was okay to sing it in the movie, but not in this situation because it would go down. This would be a room of haters if I did that. Me singing that and you all cheering? Wrong. I was also asked to sing that, get this, in Germany. At a con in Germany, I'm like, are you mad? They're like, no, it would be very funny. I'm like, yeah, it would. Really, it would. Look what's happened in Germany today. Not good. So, yeah, yes, in the blue. Okay, all right. At words poetic, I'm so pathetic that I always have found it best, instead of getting them off my chest, to let them rest unexpressed. I hate parading my serenading, as I'll probably miss a bar. But if this ditty is not so pretty, at least it'll tell you how great you are. You're the top, you're the Colosseum, you're the top, you're the Louvre Museum. You're a melody from a symphony by Strauss. You're a Bendel bonnet, a Shakespeare sonnet, you're Mickey Mouse. You're the Nile, you're the Tower of Pisa, you're the smile on the Mona Lisa. I'm a worthless check, a crazy wreck, a flop, but if baby I'm the bottom, you're the top. Considering allergies, it's hard to sing through. Yes.
Hello.
You have to respond.
Out of all, actually I have a two-part question. And
Okay.
the first part is, out of all of the different gadgets within the Torchwood universe, if you could have one of them in real life, which one would it be?
Vortex manipulator, no doubt. And I've got one. I also have a squareness gun. And I also have another gun too.
And then I was here last year for your panel.
Yes.
And I want to know, did you ever actually call that Marine?
Scott's going, what Marine? We did stay in touch. Yes, we did. And he went off to train. Gosh, I can't remember. I think he trained in San Diego, and then he wrote me a very nice letter while he was there training, and how to keep in touch with them. And then he went to 29 Palms, which is outside of Palm Springs, where a lot of Marines go before they are shipped out. And he is still serving our country, and I think he's now in Raleigh, North Carolina, because he's now getting ready to go out on duty somewhere else around the world. So the young man that was here, that we gave a big hug to, is now fighting for us, or representing us around the world for our nation. And his name is Jack. Isn't that amazing? Yes. Oh, okay, you alright? Yes, go ahead, here. Hi. It's gotta be like, I want to see that video.
No, I was just wondering, can I have a hug?
I can't, sweetheart, because if I hug you, know that everybody's gonna ask for hugs. I'll give you a high five. Really? It's about questions, not about hugs and kisses and love and nice. Oh, don't say, oh! I'm trying to keep you all like, because I'd have to hug every one of you.
You started that. You guys can go downstairs and stand in line and hug him there.
You ready? A virtual hug. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Nice. Yes.
Really? Yesterday.
Good.
And I
With a
apologize.
rack like that, I obviously would give you a hug.
You did, and you complimented them.
Thank you.
I asked you a very inappropriate question, and you were very inappropriate back then. I asked if any.
Don't, and there's children. There's children.
Then never mind.
You gotta learn how to be PG-13.
Try.
Go ahead.
My question is, actually, it's more of a thank you. I watched your documentary a few years ago called The Making of Me.
Yes.
And I'm an ally and member of PFLAG. I show that to so many of my friends in the community, and it moved them, it moved me, how you live your life so openly and honestly. And I showed it to my 16-year-old cousin, who was very struggling. And 2 weeks after he saw that, he watched it with me, he finally came out.
Good.
And I wanted, he's 18, and on behalf of my cousin Jeffrey and on myself, I wanted to thank you for being such a wonderful representative of one of the most wonderful communities that I've ever been proud of.
It's part of humanity, I think.
Yes,
rather
I agree.
Yeah, and the thing that, I always say to people, it's lovely that you're getting emotional, but those are happy tears. Those are not sad tears.
Absolutely.
Because he's now,
it's pride.
correct, because he's now free of that weight that's been on his shoulders for such a long time. And I always say again to young men and women who are in that position, and I'm not for outing people. That's not my game. It's not what we should do. But I do believe if you have a personal reason why it is and you figure it out, the moment you figure it out, you should come out of the closet. You should be proud of who you are, because the more of us who are out there shouting out loud, the easier it's going to be to change the laws that need to be changed. Because they cannot deny people with voices. They can't. And if you know someone in that position, help them. Help them. Don't push them out of the closet, because God knows it's not nice to be pushed out. But help them with the stuff they're struggling with, and let them know that it is okay. Because, someone asked me last night, I did a thing for Equality Arizona, and I did a fundraiser for them. And for me, they said, have you lost jobs or roles because of being openly gay? And I said, if I have, I don't care. My father and mother told us all as children, myself, my sister, who obviously is a professor of English. She's also an author with myself. My brother's a sportsman, and he works for a gas company. They just hook a tube up to his butt and he farts all day. Love you, Andrew. So they told us, no matter who you are or what you are or how you live your life, be the best that you can be in the job that you do, because then nobody can deny you. They cannot deny you anything. So that's what I say to kids. Just always be good. Always be the best that you can possibly be, because then it's harder for somebody to say no. And when they do say no, you can go, oh yeah? Well, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to do it anyway.
It gave my cousin a lot of hope that his incredibly conservative Christian parents might have a little.
And did they?
His mother has embraced it.
She has.
She's P-flag now.
Good.
She is.
Because isn't that what Christianity is about, accepting and loving people?
I agree.
Well, if his dad doesn't come around, then the young man I know will be the one, because you always want your mother and father in your life, and unfortunately I know with a lot of friends of mine, I was fortunate, my mom and dad had no problem. And they said, you're our son, we love you no matter what, unconditionally. Some parents, I don't know how they have the audacity to turn their back on their children, but they do. My advice to young men and women, before that happens, you turn your back on them. Don't give them the power. You take the power and control. Say, I don't want you in my life. But before you do, make sure you have a support group around you that if they do say, fine, get out of my house, you go, fine, I'm leaving, go to an aunt, go to an uncle, go to a best friend, go to one of the charities that deal with children who have been, thrust out of their house, because there are people out there who love you and will help you. And I'm one of them. That's enough, that's my soapbox, yes.
My question is about Arrow. I am such a big fan.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm such a big fan of Arrow. I absolutely love it. What is it like working with people like Stephen Amell?
Stephen and I set up with Scott and Kelsey and Aaron and my sister. We sat in the bar at the hotel and drank till the wee hours of the morning, and we had a lovely time. But what is really lovely about Stephen, for myself, who has been the leader of a show, it's lovely for me to watch him grow and take control and become a leader. And I say this with, he knows this and the people around us know this, and I've been told this by the producers. Stephen came to me a lot in the beginning to ask advice on how to handle certain situations, and I would give him my advice from what I had learned. It's because I wanted him to be successful. I wanted him to succeed. I wanted the show to be good, and you're only as good as the cast you have, but also the leading man in the company or the leading lady, whoever it may be, they're the ones who lead the pack. And if you set them off on the right foot, then we're soaring. And right now, we are soaring. You're doing a phenomenal job. But when I signed on to the show, I said to the producers, of course I'll do it, but I want a scene with him with his clothes off. And thank you, we have those pictures down at my booth. Yes. Scott has it up right in front of him, and that's Scott's motivation, because in the scene where we came in and he was standing with his arms strapped up by chains, completely torso naked, and Malcolm Merlin walks in, and I told the camera guys, I said, whatever happens, just keep rolling, okay? Don't say anything, because I'm a prankster, I love it. So I walked in around him and I was like, and then I had to circle him, do a complete circle. So, and all the dialogue, I can't remember it right now, but I'm going blah, 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 blah. So the rehearsal, great, Stephen's giving it all. Whoo, whoo. He's doing his push-ups before we do it. Whoo, whoo. He's like, do you want to join me? I'm like, no, with a Danish and coffee, I'll just watch. Can you do it one-handed, please? Just pop the butt up a little bit more. That's good, that's good. So he's giving it all. Whoo, 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 whoo. And he gets up, chain him up. Ready to go, come on, Malcolm Merlin, give me I'm like, cool, action. So, Ollie. Here's Stephen. And the first time that ever our characters crossed paths, and this was not in the episode, they cut it out because they wanted to save it, was when Moira was in the hospital. And I'm walking down the hallway, and Ollie comes back after he would know that I'm a bad guy, right? Ollie comes by, and I go, Oliver, and he goes, Malcolm, or Mr. Merlin, and I turn, look at him, and then he has a scene up in the end of the hallway with Lauren's father. Laurel's father. Oh God, his name went out of my head. Paul's character, Paul Blackthorne's character, yeah? So he has a scene up here with the detective, and just as I walked past him, I went, Oliver, he went, Malcolm, I turned and I went. Paul's a method actor. Paul's like, yeah. So he's just seen me. Well, Steven's like this. Paul's going, what's the matter? What are you doing? He's like, Barrowman! So I told Steven last night, get ready. Because I'm coming Series 3 and we're going to have a good time. Yes. How much time?
You have 10 minutes, so you want to go as fast
Okay,
as
well,
possible.
sit down and give me my 10 minutes then, girl. Yes.
Megan, I was
Hi, Megan.
when you first took on the role of Jack Harkness, did you see where they were going with the face of Bo?
No clue. No clue. I've told that. Did I tell the story last year?
Yeah.
All right, I won't tell it again. Okay, I'll tell it again. David and I were on set, and the script came in, and I didn't read my scripts. Don't prepare that ahead. I do it like a couple of days before I'm supposed to do stuff. And I don't like to know what's happening, because I think for me, spontaneity, do while you're doing it, and also learn the lines, and then when you get up, do it spontaneously, and it seems more natural. So David, we get the scripts in, and David, I can hear this, ah! And all of a sudden, running up to the trailer, and I hear, like, what? John, you're never gonna believe what's happening. I said, don't tell me! Shut up! Get back to your trailer, get out of mine! So he goes back to his trailer, and then next day comes, I hear again. Okay, 1 minute! A minute! What? Have you read the script? No! Get back to your trailer! I'm ready yet! Whatever you need, I'll tell you! Next day, lunch break. Me. Oh my God! Damn it! This is where he goes, what? I ran Have a nice lunch. Amazing. I had no idea. I called Russell. I said, Russell, what were you smoking when you wrote that? Good stuff. Hi. Step a little closer. It doesn't bite. It's electronic. Go ahead.
So it's on my bucket list to ask this question. It might seem kind of weird. What
Do I need to sit down for this?
What shampoo do you use?
I am so glad you asked that. You know why? Because I, in the UK and Europe, have my own hair care and skincare range. And the shampoo I use is her hair care, which I designed and developed for women. And it's made in Italy, all natural products, color sensitive. Because I am gray under this mop. And I color my hair. So, yes, that's what I use. Her hair care. And it's available at QVC UK. Yes.
Hi. I want to know, what's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Finn! My our godnephew, Scott, and his name is Finn! We bought him the hat!
Yeah, I know, it's awesome.
That's awesome. Answer my question.
Thanks very much.
I just want to know, what's the craziest thing you've ever done with one of your co-stars?
Oh my gosh. Eve Miles. All I have, who I love to death. Eve Miles. The craziest thing I've done. It's a song I've dedicated on the album, my new album, to Eve, which, by the way, was funded by all of my fans, and I'm overwhelmed and incredibly proud to say that it's the best album that I've ever done because you guys gave me the freedom to do what I wanted to do away from a record company. So thank you very much. It was amazing. And you can download it on iTunes, $9.99, 2 free tracks right away. sung before in my concert tours, but we did a kind of vamp of it, kind of a Mumford & Sons style version of Listen to the Music. Because, again in Germany, Eve and I had been out with a bunch of the Connors, and we were having some drinks in the bar, and we had a great time. We went back up to Eve's room, put on Mumford & Sons, and we opened up all the windows in the hotel, and she and I then just threw our clothes off and danced naked around the room for about 2.5 hours, right? Yes, we did. And Eve's like, I wouldn't do that with my own sister, but Eve's like, you know, that soul sister with me, and we were just bouncing around. Yeah. Next morning at breakfast, half of the other celebrity con people are eating breakfast, and they're like, hey, great night last night. I'm like, yeah, it was great at the bar. They went, no, great show on the other side of the building. I went, what? He was like, huh? I said, yeah, we all saw 6 o'clock this morning. Everybody's getting up. So are you guys. Because your window was open, and what you didn't realize is the building across the way was all reflective glass, and we could see right into your room.
Oh my God.
You know, gotta do what you gotta do in life, right? Always live that moment, and boy, we lived that moment. For 2.5 freaking hours, we lived it. And that's why the song now is dedicated to her on the album, and it says, because we danced naked together in Germany. So that's one of the craziest things I've ever done. And also, every time she was at a close-up, I got my balls out and distracted her. Tennis balls. Yes.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I was curious as...
Hi, Lauren.
Hello.
I buy your perfume every year. Ralph Lauren. For my mom. Yeah.
I was curious as to
You
what...
don't care, do you? Well, you know, thanks for being honest. How old are you?
I'm 13.
13. Okay, good.
I was curious as to what has been your most enjoyable stage kiss, or on-screen kiss.
No, I know you all want me to say date, or you want me to say James Mustard. No.
What?
Wait. They were all delicious. My favorite on-screen kiss was the one where I broke boundaries immediately, and that was with Chris Eccleston. And when I walked up to Rose, and I kissed her. Then Russell said to me, it's in the script, just do it. Do it how you feel, how you want to do it. And I said, well, I want to show that you love both of them. And I turned to Chris, and I went and kissed him exactly the same way as I kissed Rose. The British public, they all went, oh, great, no big deal. And that was amazing. That was amazing. So that's the one I'm most proud of. I was the first male character, companion, to ever kiss the Doctor. And I can proudly say that. 2-minute warning. Yes. Yes. The lady in pink. Ooh, the pink arrow. Watch out for her. Yeah.
I was just wondering, how can you be Tommy Merlin's father if you're the same age?
I love you. You want to be adopted by Scott Ryan? You want to get dads because you'll have the most fabulous clothes, and when you're 18, your high heels will be Louboutins. Handbags galore. Come live with us. Grab her, Scott. Is that your dad? Bring him too. Tommy is actually, you know, the guy who plays him is younger than me, really. But a lot of people have said that. What my theory, not been written by the show or anything, is that Malcolm had Tommy when he was about 16, 17 years old, with it. He didn't have them, his wife had them. And the reason Malcolm is so ruthless and worked so hard, this is my own little backstory history, is because that he had to work incredibly hard to provide for his wife and his son. And his wife died, so then he was disgruntled that his son was not becoming the man that he really wanted him to be, which was Oliver, because I think Malcolm really secretly wanted Oliver as a son, but he was just the best friend. But that's how the reasoning became for me to justify that I was his dad, because I did say when, and I know Colin, who played Tommy Merlin from musical theater stuff, he played the same role I did in Anything Goes on Broadway, so we've all, he's a very good song and dance man. But when we did that, I was like, dude, how is this going to work? And he's like, well, just play it. And we just played it, and it seems to have worked, but unfortunately he's dead now because I killed him. So you look almost as good as me, you're going to die.